Hey everyone, it's Tom Kradz, and we're going to give a quick update on Canada and Ontario's housing shortage and what we're calling an absolute debacle. Let me just make myself smaller in the corner here. We put together a few slides. This is some of the latest data that we're taking a look at. Mike Moffat put this out. He's a great guy to follow on Twitter. He has been on the Your Life, Your Terms podcast and shared a bunch of great insights with us on how the population growth in Canada is exploding and often not being reported. In this chart, he's showing that the federal government has a target of 350,000 new housing starts a year. CMHC saying to make housing affordable, we should actually be doing 580,000. So these are the numbers that are kind of well known out there. But instead, Canada's housing starts has just fallen to 215,000. A lot of this is, because of the economy, because of the softness in pricing, and because of the high interest rates. And this gets really important when you look at some of our population growth. So at a time when we know we need more housing to make it more affordable, and quite a lot more, we're falling in our housing starts. This is CMHC's report that came out in June of last year. And they admitted here to restore any sort of affordability, we actually need 3.5 million new affordable housing units by the end of 2030. So they're saying we need millions more. And our housing starts are actually in the process of falling. Here's the follow-up tweet. In Ontario, annualized housing starts are down 31% to 71,000 units. The province's target is 150,000 units. It's going to go largely unnoticed, but it should be front page news. And we absolutely agree. If I blow that data up a little bit here, you can see it. If you look at Ontario, month over month, here's single family homes, which kind of stayed in line from December to January. Here's all the others. Combined 85,000 starts in December, but then down to 53 or down negative 38%. If you add all the numbers up, we are down 31%. So the trend of housing starts is down, and it's down large. And if you look across Canada, it's down right across Canada. And again, actually Quebec is up, which is interesting. Quebec has a positive number. So that's one good sign that Quebec has a positive number. And it looks like Alberta has a slight positive number. So there are slight positives in here. But some of the most dense areas like Ontario here, for example, we are down a huge amount when we need to be up. And the reason we need to be up is check this CIBC report that just came out. Housing demand for newcomers is even stronger than perceived. This came out by Benjamin Tal on January 25th. And in here, there's this line that says, together, permanent residents and non-permanent resident arrivals, so that'd be like workers and students, etc., from outside of Canada, amounted to 955,000 people arriving in 2022. When you look at that in chart format, here's what it looks like. We have 955,000 new arrivals landing in Canada in the year 2022 at a time when we are producing a trend of less housing, not more. So if we already had a housing crisis in this country, where are we headed to? And if you look at later in this report on that same, it's later on the same page, it says, accordingly, it's not a stretch to suggest that the number of new international arrivals in 2023 might reach 1 million. So in 2022, we had a high number. In 2023, we're going to creep a little bit higher. And this is, where we start to ask, where is our big housing coordination between the federal government, provincial government, and municipal government? Never mind transportation. I think we can all admit, especially in the Greater Toronto area and Golden Horseshoe area, the transportation needs are extreme. And what about healthcare? I don't see any data around healthcare. What are we doing to increase the capacity of our healthcare when we're taking in this much of a population growth in Canada and in Ontario? So that's the coordination that's required. And to us, it just looks like it's not happening. And you kind of sort of lose faith that it's ever going to happen at this point. This is something we've been talking about, I feel like, for almost 10 years at this point. So you're on your own. And what we mean by that is if you have a family and maybe you have children who are going to need housing soon, you're going to have to figure this out yourself because it doesn't look like there's a big plan from any level of government. And I know in the province of Ontario, they're talking about doing as of right, triplexes and maybe even fourplexes, but some of that is kind of patchy. It's not right across Ontario. We need some of that stuff to be pushed through right across Ontario. The need for housing is extreme. So that's some of the latest data that we're looking at. Hopefully you find that helpful. Until next time, your life, your terms.